Hello and welcome to section 5 of ITIL 4 Specialist High Velocity IT Certification Training Program from One World Training. In this section, we will get into the practices relevant for high velocity IT. There are several practices required to be understood for this certification. As we can see, this is a long list. If we count them, there are 17 practices, such as portfolio management, relationship management, architecture management, business analysis, availability management, capacity and performance management, service continuity management, infrastructure and platform management, information security management, risk management, service design, software development and management, deployment management, service validation and testing, service desk, problem management, monitoring and event management. About 19 marks out of the 40 are associated with these practices for the exam. And in fact, about 24 marks, as I mentioned before, out of the 40 are associated with the techniques of the high velocity IT objectives. And we have gone through several techniques in the previous section, particularly section number 4, part 1 and part 2. Some of those questions which are about those techniques connect closely with the practices, and some of them do not. Some of them require a basic understanding of the practices, and some of them require a more deeper understanding of the practices, which make up those 24 questions. Note that not everything from every practice is covered in the exam. For example, if you look at portfolio management, though that practice publication may be larger, only some of the sections from that practice or some subsections will be covered as part of the exam syllabus. It is the same as not everything from the HVIT publication from Axelos will be covered in the exam, but some portions from the HVIT publication are excluded from the exam. So that could be a relief for exam preparation, isn't it? The numbers in parentheses are the sections from those practice publications relevant for the exam syllabus. So for example, portfolio management, only section 2.1 and 2.4 are relevant for the exam syllabus. Let us take a look at the structure of the practice guides. Any of the practices, if you look up the publication for that practice, has the following chapters. Of course, there is a chapter 1, which will describe which practice it is, but more relevant for us is from chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 has general information, and therefore I have highlighted chapter number 2. Particularly 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 are covered in most of the exams from the practice documents. So irrespective of which practice it is for the exam, chapter 2 will be very relevant, particularly 2.1 to 2.4. Practice purpose and description, terms and concepts, scope of the practice, and the practice success factors. In some cases, the process section from chapter 3, value streams and processes, may also be relevant for the exam. And some other cases, 4.1 from chapter 4, roles, competencies and responsibilities from the organizations and people dimension chapter may also be relevant for the exam. So only those which are highlighted will be relevant for the exam. Again, it depends on the exact syllabus for the exam. It is possible that for one practice, only some of these highlighted sections will be necessary to be studied. And for some other practice, maybe some of the other combinations of these highlighted sections have to be studied. So it is not necessary that each of these highlighted sections will be included in the exam syllabus for that practice. Another thing to know is the items which are bold as well as underlined, such as 2.1, 2.4, are included in the exam syllabus for all applicable practices for the HVIT exam, whereas the ones which are just in bold but not underlined, such as 2.2, 2.3, 3.2, 4.1 are included in the exam syllabus for only some of the practices. And these two rules are applicable for all the 4 ITIL 4 middle level certifications, such as HVIT, drive stakeholder value, direct plan and improve, and create, deliver and support. With that understanding, let us now get into these practices. The first one which has come up is the service design. The purpose of the service design practice is to design products and services fit for purpose and use, and that can be delivered by the organization. Plan and organize all the 4 dimensions. Practices and organization customer interactions for new and changed products and services. What this means is, as part of designing the products and services which are fit for purpose and fit for use, meaning meet the utility and warranty requirements, and that can be delivered by the organization. For those products and services, there should be planning and organization of all the 4 dimensions of service management. So service design includes the planning for an organization of those 4 dimensions, and also the relevant practices associated with the organization's products and services, which means the service design practice should consider all other relevant practices, such as infrastructure and platform management, knowledge management, etc., if they are necessary to develop and deliver various products and services. Service design should also consider organization to customer interactions for any new and changed products and services, meaning the types of interactions which would occur related to those products and services. Service design should be holistic, considering impacts to other areas in results-driven way. And it is important to coordinate this service design with the service value system. There is a lot of meaning here, which means holistic could mean considering various aspects such as the 4 dimensions. For example, who are the people involved or need to be considered in the design? What are the technologies and information required to be considered in the design? uh, and the value streams and processes or suppliers and partners need to be considered. So do watch out in the exam for questions which may go a little deeper into such some of these points. We highly recommend that you also study the practice guides. These practice guides are available to purchase from the Axelos website or their publisher TSO shop, or if you are a member of ITIL with Axelos, then you are eligible to download any of these practice guides without additional charges. It is important to define design activities for each type of change, be it a small change or large change. The design for such changes should be made, and people should be made clear about it, meaning stakeholders should be kept informed about the design activities for the various types of changes. Design should be done from various perspectives. Design for the business and customer. Design for better experience, customer experience, user experience. Design for cost, for the optimal cost. Design for security. Design for adaptability. Design for absorbing changing demand. Design for continuous operation. And design for risks as long as they are acceptable.